The heck went on right there? There! Everybody should be able to hear that now. Right? Good. Alright, now we should be working. Don't know what that was about. Sorry about that, everybody. We started the program and then it worked fine. Alright. Hey, everybody. Alright. Had to restart the program here. All I'll ever care for with all my heart. Hey, Octavio. After my experience dealing with Wrigley Field and group sales, I have never had a vendor treat me so badly. And then they have the absolute nerve to figure out who my employer is and contact them demanding that I apologize. Go Sox. They have hit my dunzo list. I'm gonna drop a diss track. I will drop a diss track like Keith Moreland drops a routine fly. And we're blocking that comment. Hey, everybody. Hey, Dina. I put up with the Ricketts crap long enough. Hey, Dad. Good morning, Susan. Hey, everybody. Oh yeah, I've had vendors who didn't really have a good policy for group sales set up. I've never had this much contempt from the vendor. Hey everybody, welcome along. Hey Gwendolyn. Hey everybody, welcome along. Sorry for the delay there. I don't know what was the problem with the audio. I just restarted the program and then it was fine. Hey everybody. Well, Cubs will always have 1989. Finally, Major League Baseball took notice of me. They reached out, too. I would hoping that they would reach out because they saw my Little League batting average, which was pretty impressive. But alright, everybody. But yeah, we got beef now. I'm going to be dropping diss tracks. That's how you handle these things these days. Just definitely an evolution from duels. Karen, there should be sound. But alright everybody, thank you a lot for joining me. Today we are working from home on account of a rain delay. It's raining outside. Alright. We'll put the Benny down low. Well, alright everybody, welcome along. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours. Working from home today on account of raining outside, so I thought I'd just throw together a couple of things. You'll notice I'm now wearing a Sox hat. The Cubs really did me badly at Wrigley Field, working with a student group. These were our tickets. I had to handwrite everything so the kids would know where to sit. This time's 170. Well, the Cubs literally laughed and mocked me for not making sure all the kids had an app. Really. So, all right, ticket list is pretty much standard in Major League Baseball these days, but the Sox will still print up tickets for groups over 100. Frankly, that's a very high threshold to have to go through, but still, it's something. So I thought we would just kind of revisit a couple of Sox-related graves today. Most notably, up here at Calvary Cemetery is Mr. Charles Comiskey. Just as kind of a reminder that baseball owners have always been jerks. Charles Comiskey right here. Now, supposedly he got his start in professional baseball. He was out driving a wagon and came upon a sandlot baseball game and thought that the pitcher was screwing up, so he just kind of tagged in and took over, which strikes me as an unlikely story. You know, people who are playing a baseball game are not really apt to just let somebody who shows up on a wagon pitch. Most notably known as a real cheapskate of an owner. Cut the players out of their bonuses, pulled all kinds of dirty tricks, probably not much different than other owners would have done. But here's something cool, is I ran across this article by Evelyn Campbell. Evelyn Campbell was probably best known for her attachment to the Johann Hawk case. She was considered the police's special commissioner on the case. She interviewed Hawk several times until she finally got on his bad side. In 1908, after she got married, she was primarily working for the Chicago Examiner, mostly reporting on women in sports fandom. That was an interesting thing here. In 1908, there's this article where she interviewed Charles Comiskey about bringing in more women to the ballpark, bringing more women as Sox fans. And, you know, we forget, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, when we're singing that, we're just singing the chorus. The character in the song who is singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game is a woman, Katie Kelly. I knew this as a kid, that what we're singing is just the chorus, because there was this version on Baseball's Greatest Hits, a tape that I about wore out as a kid. There's a track by a guy, Bruce Springsteen. It is a dead-on Springsteen parody, singing the full version. Kitty Kelly loved baseball games. She knew the players and all of their names. It's very dead-on parody that taught me all of the verses to take me out to the ball game. Women have always been in sports fandom. Evelyn Campbell was kind of a pioneer in writing about it, amongst her other achievements. And of course, Comiskey is best known for ticking off his players so thoroughly that several of them agreed to fix the World Series in 1919, leading to the Black Sox scandal when the story broke the next year. So, here is Mr. Comiskey, along with Ban Johnson. Ban, his name was short for Bancroft. He was the founder of the American League. Ban Johnson looking here like he's a principal who's about to ban rock and roll music from the upcoming dance. He looks like that in pretty much all of his pictures and was generally regarded as a very humorless, arrogant man. As he looks right here, too. Look at this. I'm not closing the beach before tourist season. This guy, he could have been like, if he died in the early 1930s, had he lived up to if he'd lived in the 1970s, he could have had a job playing sheriffs in movies that were sold primarily to drive-ins. Sheriffsploitation pictures, side boob and sheriff operas. I couldn't find the original of this picture. The Daily News archives were loading. The Daily News image archives were loading very slowly at the coffee shop this morning. But these guys hated each other's guts. They started out as friends, Comiskey and Ban Johnson. But they started having a fight, and at one point, Comiskey was going fishing, and he packed up a couple of fish in ice and sent them to Ban Johnson, supposedly as a peace offering. But they didn't survive the shipment. The ice melted, so as far as Bancroft Johnson knew, he just sent him a couple of smelly dead fish, and their friendship never recovered after that. But as a result of the fixed World Series, the owners of the Major League Baseball teams decided that they needed to bring in a new commissioner for life who could be unquestioned and make all the decisions and make sure to try to restore baseball's reputation as a clean game. So they brought in Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, whose grave is seen here at Oakwood Cemetery. We've covered this a couple of times. Now, even years before this, he actually has another connection to the Johann Hawk serial killer case. When Johann Hawk, the day of his hanging, a couple of Hawks lawyers teamed up with one of H.H. Holmes's old lawyers, Edward Maher, and went to Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis trying to get a stay of execution based on some technicalities in the paperwork. And Landis was known as a really unpredictable judge. You could never tell what this guy was going to do. It's very easy to imagine him saying, "By God, you're right. I had my doubts about this case," and throwing the whole execution out. Instead, he ended up saying something like, "Well, you still need to get this signature and this signature. Just bring it back to me and I'll see what I can do." And by the time he got back from lunch, it was too late. This was a couple of days' story. Landis is now often criticized for being kind of complacent about the color barrier in baseball. And for the most part, I don't think he did much more than anybody else. He didn't really discourage it, but he didn't try to uphold it or anything that we know of. Except it has been suggested that the reason Babe Ruth never became a manager is Landis was kind of pushing back on it, partly because he knew that as manager, Ruth would probably be advocating to break down the color line way earlier than it actually happened. Babe Ruth was a very interesting guy. He seems to have existed almost entirely without prejudice himself. Having grown up more or less in an orphanage. So, all right, just a couple of quick things on a work-from-home edition today. Sorry there about the trouble with the sound the first time I tried to broadcast. Don't know what's going on there. So tonight, let me just take that down, make this a little, where's the upcoming button? What have I done? Okay. What have I done? Upcoming tours. Tonight, virtually, we are going to be doing the 1864 Chicago Insurrection Plot. That should be an interesting one. Then, it's one of my favorites, actually. We've got quite a few more pre-donations for it. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm getting donations from people I've never heard of. So maybe we can have some new people tonight. That would be terrific. May 18th, next Saturday, a week from this Saturday, we will be doing the supersized edition of the Graceland Cemetery Walking Tour. Tickets for that are available at adamchicago.com. There's also going to be an email going around in about half an hour with a link to tickets to that. And next Thursday night, before that, in fact, we will be doing a virtual tour of Dark History on Madison Street for the first time in over a year. So everybody, thank you very much. I am Adam, newly anointed Sox fan. It's a long story, but we're going to be dropping some diss tracks later on. I might be going to the, I picked a good week to be a Sox fan. They have won almost a fourth of the games they have played this year. And tickets start at like $5. So thanks everybody for joining me. I will see you back tonight for the 1864 Insurrection Story, a full-length virtual tour, and hopefully see a couple of you next weekend for the Graceland Cemetery Supersized Walking Tour. Well, all right, everybody, thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours, and all you need to get on my tours if you buy a ticket is your name. You want to print up a paper ticket? That's fine. So, all right, I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago, telling you all to stay safe and stay strong, and of course, if you can, do stay spooky.